Well, good afternoon, and thank you for joining us for another edition of Dialogue with the Dean. I'm Eric Barker, Dean of the Purdue College of Pharmacy, and we do appreciate you taking some time today to listen to our video or watch our video. And as always, if you have questions about the content of this video, please post questions there on the Facebook site, and we'll come back from time to time and be sure to answer those questions. Well, today it's a very special edition. We are on location in Boston, in the hub and heart of innovation and the biotech sector here in Boston. And we have a very, very special guest with us from the Purdue Pharmacy class of 1981.
Wow, did you have to start
Yeah,
with
I
that?
did.
Yeah.
Class
Okay.
of 1981, our distinguished alumnus, Jeff Hatfield. Jeff, thanks for being with us. Jeff is, by his own admission, a serial entrepreneur
Yes.
and a corporate leader in the life sciences sector. He's a member of our Dean's Advisory Council, and we're very grateful. We'll just tell everybody we've been here for a couple days, and
Yeah.
you've been hosting about 15 of our students here, immersing them in the biotech sector. We're very grateful.
Lots of fun.
It's been lots of fun,
Yeah.
and so we're very, very grateful. Well, I want to start off, first of all, again, thanking you for being such an extraordinary mentor for our students. You have hosted many of them here in your previous position and now here when you've been in Boston, so we are very, very grateful for that investment that you've made in our students. Many people who hear your story are curious about your story, how someone with a Purdue pharmacy degree starts in big pharma, ultimately starts a company, sells a company, and now is a corporate leader in the biotech sector and is really an entrepreneur. Tell us a little bit about your story and how you made those transitions and how you landed where you are today.
Sure. Well, let me start.
Yeah.
As you said, we've been having this session at Biotech Retreat here in Boston with so many different College of Pharmacy students, and we have alumni visiting us here and participating in the program. And Dean, I just want to extend my thanks to you on so many levels for your leadership of the college, for producing so many bright, energetic, committed, passionate students that want to change how value is delivered to patients and looking out for patient welfare, smart. It's amazing what you do. And I'm just greatly privileged to be able to do things with you and to be able to say I come from the College of Pharmacy. It's a big honor. So to answer your question, it's been an interesting journey, one I would have never predicted. It starts with where I just was speaking to, College of Pharmacy. I mean, it was a great foundation for me to be able to get my degree from Purdue and to learn so much early in my career about science. From there, and I guess that's where the entrepreneur started showing up. I decided when I was a student to sort of reimagine what pharmacy means. To me, one version, a very general version of it, is delivering the value of medicine to patients. And when I was in the school, I decided that meant to me trying to move toward actually discovering, developing medicines to deliver that value to patients. And so I took, at that time, quite a contrarian path to move toward the industry. And from there, it's a really interesting journey of building business skills, expanding my scientific knowledge, and getting to know so many bright people and developing a network of folks that I know and have emulated and learned from and participated with in teams to be able to grow the career. And so with that strong foundation that I gained in Big Pharma, was able to make a jump into the entrepreneurial sector several years ago, and it's been fascinating.
How did you even take that first step? I mean, so you're in big pharma, and then we all have talked about Vitae Pharmaceuticals, which was your first entrance there.
Yeah.
How did you take that first step?
Yeah. So it was a combination of, in big pharma, it was such a great experience and it built so many skills. And my last position there was running immunology and virology, and so it was a really dynamic business with science changing very rapidly and new discoveries with autoimmunity and new pathways, etc. And that was just pulling me as the advance of medicine has gotten quicker and more expansive and delving deeper into human biology. It seemed like biotech was where there was more and more energy and again, more and more value for patients emerging there. It was a really hard leap to change from the protection and size scale of the pharma industry to a very small 50-person biotech. But just the allure, and I guess coming back to the touchstone of being able to personally have the feeling that I'm affecting and have the potential to change the world for some patients was what drove me to it.
So, if you were going to give some advice to maybe our alumni, other alumni, and as you have for our students who may have that entrepreneurial itch, what advice would you give them?
Yeah. So interestingly, I've just started working at Harvard to try to teach people that, and as part of an advisory board, I would say there are a couple of things that really come to mind. First is just finding something that people are really passionate about, and not a fleeting passion or sounds like a great idea, but something that one can really feel in the gut that this is an exciting opportunity to make a change, make a difference for the world. And if that grows and it's really powerful, then that's a great starting block. Second step, I would say, is to research it. There's so many things going on in the world. One has to look at what are the other alternatives, what are the barriers to this, how do we create intellectual property, what disciplines do we need. So there's a lot of research work that has to take place for a while. It's not an easy step between concept to actually doing something. So research. And the third thing that I would say is simply there's no such thing as impossible in the world. If you have the passion, you've done the research, it's a real opportunity. The true measure of entrepreneurship is everybody else thinks it's a stupid idea. And so one will be faced with a million, that's impossible, it will never happen, they'll never get that done, and just ignoring that things are impossible, refusing to believe that and pushing through it. Everything that is possible today and is amazing today started with that's impossible. So those are my three comments.
Well, so let's talk about the impossible. There are so much going on in broadly defined pharmaceutical biotechnology or the biotech sector. As we think about, and you've been sitting here now for a few years, share with our listeners what have you seen on the horizon that perhaps a few years ago we thought was impossible, but now science and technology are enabling transformative opportunities to deliver new hope for patients. What do you see on the horizon in the biotech sector?
Oh my gosh, it is so exciting. And I will say there are a lot of things I can't comment on or speak specifically to because I'm privileged to be under confidentiality agreements on a lot of that nascent science that 20 years from now may pay off and really change the world. But I can tell you it's exciting. There are really some facts that support that drug discovery, development, the new modalities that are emerging are having a more profound effect on extending and enhancing human life than ever before in our history. Maybe just to throw one out quickly and then maybe get to more specifics of an answer. It's been interesting in the latter half of the 1900s, through some health economic analysis, it was estimated that about 40% of the increase in human longevity is directly attributable to advances in drug therapy. So 40%, that's pretty good. Other things, surgery, better prevention of accidents, faster intervention, getting people to hospital, or other things that play a role. If we look now into the 2000s, it's approaching 75% of the continued steps forward in enhancing and extending life are due to new drug modalities. So more than ever before, new drugs are greatly impacting the world. I think that's going to get to be a bigger number in the future for what I've seen. So what are things that are exciting? I think there are really three particular areas that are fascinating and have the potential to have huge impact in the future. And I think you're teaching essence of these in the college. One obviously is the whole field of gene therapies. It's a very broad horizon in what can be done between microRNAs, messenger RNAs, siRNAs, etc., and direct gene editing, and other things on the horizon. Super cool therapies emerging there. Cell-based therapies like CAR Ts, very exciting. We're just beginning to figure that out and move beyond the dangerous experimentation to we're starting to understand actually what we're doing. I think that's a really neat area. Microbiome is another area that's fascinating. I mean, we are host to billions of bacteria and viruses, and those have some connection to our health. There is some interplay, clearly, but we don't understand very much of that yet. Those are three areas, and then, I mean, just to really toss out something crazy, there's some amazing science going on that could lead to enormous breakthroughs in human longevity and healthy longevity that are like reading science fiction. But it's there in early stages in labs, and the data are building. So some really fantastic things. And just a last thought on what I'm excited about for pharmacy and for pharmacy students. I don't know, and you're an expert in this, but what's the future of retail pharmacy, and what's the future of hospital pharmacy? I know that science and pharmacists' role in discovering and developing drugs is on a huge uprise. And there's so much need for new scientific talent coming in. There's huge growth here in Boston. People have estimated 10,000 new jobs need to be added in the area over the next 5 years. So it's high growth because of all of the potential that you and I are talking about today.
So what advice would you give to our students about how they can become involved in the biotech sector?
Well, I'm going to turn that one back to you because you are the steward of those students. But I think it starts with just understanding what they're interested in. And if this is something that appeals to them, then I want to actually hear how you're dealing with that and how you're supporting students' interest in the industry.
Well, I think one of the things that we believe is core to the brand, if you will, of Purdue Pharmacy is that we expose our students to a breadth of opportunity, and we're very, very deliberate about that. And so I think there's two pieces. One, it's being deliberate about ensuring that our students see the breadth of opportunity in pharmacy across all disciplines that are represented. But underlying that is a mindset of being a leader. And I was with an alum just this week, and he graduated in the 70s, a few years before you. And he said, you know, when I was in school, it was just expected that we would be leaders. And that is part of our culture, and that is who we think we are as Purdue Pharmacy. And so I think when you combine this mindset of leading and providing influence where you are, and when students see the breadth of opportunity that they have, it begins to open their eyes to what's out there. And so then and with very deliberate efforts, we try to encourage them to, first of all, stick your big toe here and there, right? And
Yes.
learn more about these things. And then you can take steps to go deeper into the things that sort of pique your interest. And so we've done some things, early planting seeds in the minds of students about what the opportunities are, and then connecting them with internships so that they can take the next step. We very deliberately bring in outside speakers, our alumni, to come in and share their stories with our students so that the students can see real life examples of what some of these things look like in industry. And we offer then in their P4 year elective rotations so that they can go out and go even deeper in that P4 year, and then providing support for them as they explore fellowships potentially after graduation. I think we have to communicate, and this is why it's so important for us as a college to have connections with the industry, is to communicate to the students what those opportunities look like, because they are changing very rapidly, as you just said. And so industry from big pharma to biotech is embracing the value of the PharmD degree and the Doctor of Pharmacy degree in various places in industry. And we want our students to know that, and we want them to be well positioned, if that strikes their passion, to be in that list, to be well equipped and be on the interview list, and be those candidates that companies take a look at. And we hope that the reputation of our college, because of the excellence of our students who go on to be excellent alumni, will maybe open a door. But what we've done along the way to equip them will provide them opportunity to not only walk through that door, but stay in those places for a little while, and go deeper, and again, to be the leaders ultimately, influencing the next generation of the science and discoveries. And really what you said, at the end of the day, it's about the patients, right? That while we train our PharmD degree students to be clinicians, there is a direct connection between drug discovery and delivery of patient care, and we should never forget that. And that's really why we're all in this business to begin with. It's to help patients and help people.
That's exactly right. So important to say.
And so this is really the new opportunity. And like you said, the science fiction of today really will become the science of tomorrow and the realities of tomorrow. And being here this weekend and just having a conversation with some of the things that are going on here, diseases that truly are fatal can be cured, I believe, within the decade. And that is, it's almost, it almost can bring you to tears sometimes, because the opportunity, and that there are people that have suffered and gone through so much pain, but yet we're going to be able to treat these people and provide, wellness and health and long life. And that's
right.
It's an exciting potential, and we want our graduates to be right at the center of it. But it starts with that mindset of being leaders and being open to opportunities, and exploring those opportunities, and being fearless about going after those opportunities. And we hope that's the culture that we have at the college that breeds that.
That's fantastic. I want to emphasize one of the things you said, and then again compliment you on another aspect of what you talked about. The emphasis is that there are a lot of misperceptions about what the industry means, but I can tell you nearly unanimously and universally throughout biotech, the number one thing on everyone's mind is, how do we help patients live a better life? And that's something that is not only here, but it's really here in the hearts of the people that I see every day. That is the purpose for our life, and that's how we live it, and that's why we're doing the things that we are. And I think that's not so far from what pharmacy is intended to do. I think actually it's really in the center of it. The second thing, and also may be hard to see from the college, but you are such a great partner with all of us, alumni, and with the industry. And I think you're really thinking forward amongst pharmacy college deans that I'm aware of. I think you're really at the forefront of thinking how to evolve the college and how to provide the best opportunities and education for students. And the last thing I'll tell you, which just again warms my heart, is as you and I have been working together to have students rotate out to be able to spend some time with me and experience biotech here in Boston. And this is very recent feedback, but we're working here with MDs and PhDs and every once in a while Nobel Prize winners, etc. And people admire the students that you're sending me. They're commenting of, wow, what a great young professional. I'm shocked at how ready they are, how smart they are, how much they know. That's a compliment that I get directly, but I want to pass along to you because you're the person that put it there.
Well,
great job.
We have great faculty and staff that invest in the students, and our students, we're so very, very proud of them, and it warms my heart to hear that positive feedback. Well, Jeff, thank you for spending some time with me today and sharing your story with the rest of our alumni and friends. Thank you for joining us. As always, if you have questions about what we've talked about, go ahead and post those on the Facebook site. We'll come back to those and post answers to those as we see them. And as always, if you have suggestions about other topics you'd like to hear about, please go ahead and post those as well. Well, again, thank you for being here. Thank you, Jeff.
Thanks, Steve.
And have a great rest of your day. And as always, hail Purdue and boiler up.